Hello and welcome everybody to our holiday year-end wrap-up. If you were not here at the beginning of the year, you probably missed the precursor of this, but that's okay. We'll give you all that information as we go. Kendra and I are here to break this thing down. We're going to talk about who we picked to be the champions at the end of 2024, as opposed to who is the champion at the end of 2024 for each of the weight classes. We've got our cool holiday themed get-ups for anybody that happens to celebrate the Christmas holiday. If you don't celebrate the Christmas holiday, you're probably like, what are these goofus he's wearing? But you know what? We've already got Grateful Dude loving the costumes, and that's what I like to see. Grateful Dude, I'm so happy you're here. Daz Files tweeted me earlier today, said he's already got his listening spot outdoors. It's summertime where he's at. It's nice and cold here. So, and great hat speed. 138 takes the L if he doesn't marry this girl. Good news for you. Like next month. So it's coming in really soon. Real soon. Headed to Vegas for it. Should be a fun time. But Daz, there we go. Yep, we got Mrs. Santa and the crazy elf. You're darn right. I was thinking about like costumes, and I don't really think that I fit the Santa Claus mold super well. Like, I don't think I'm round enough to be Santa Claus, like in the face, but also in the body. So I look more like an elf. So we're going with an elf. Oh, thanks, Daz. I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, like coming up like real soon. I told Effie I'm going to hit him up when we're out there. So we'll probably get together with Effie from Any Action Sportscast and have dinner with him while we're out in Vegas. But it's going to be a good time. So appreciate y'all tuning in. So, okay, so how this is going to work. So before we dive into everything, we're going to let some more people funnel in. But so for anybody that was here, you might remember the expert versus casual live stream. I do look like a juggler. And we did this at the beginning of 2024, I do believe. And Kendra and I both went through this. And you might be thinking, well, which one of you is the expert? Well, I took the moniker of the expert title. And I don't know that that's actually what I am. I don't know if I'm an expert. But I picked some fights. I picked some winners. And so did she. We both have winners. You don't you? Yeah.
I do have some.
Okay.
I do have some.
So she has some winners. And we're going to go over that. You might know who we got right and who we got wrong if you remember that. But if you didn't, that's okay. We're going to tell you who we picked, and we're probably going to be making fun of ourselves a little bit with that. But yeah, so good times. And then let's see what the first week of January, I think it is. We're going to have Mr. and Mrs. K Picks of Johnny K Picks' fame join us on the channel here. And the four of us are going to do a prediction for who's the champions for next year. So that won't be in this video. This year, we're just wrapping up how we did. So, but we're doing that in 2025 early with the K-Pix family. Here we go. Happy holiday. Happy holidays to you too, Brendan. I appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, so let's go ahead and let's talk about some of these.
Yeah.
Do you have any that you're like, I guess we'll get it as we go along. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with one that I'm pretty sure we both absolutely crushed it on, and that's the women's strawweight division. And why did we crush it on this? Because Zhang Weili fights like once a year, and we just had to get one fight right, and that's what we did. We both had Zhang Weili, and why was that your most confident pick for the whole thing?
I put that she was just good.
It's good enough reason for me.
Yeah, I think like the fight where they gave Rose the decision over Weili, like that was bullshit.
Yeah, I thought Weili won that as well, actually. But I had a bet on Rose, so I was happy to take it. And I picked Weili as well because, well, you know what? I thought it was an easy pick because nobody at strawweight was going to beat her.
I'm a fan of her. She's good.
Absolutely, and she's got a fun fight coming up, and we'll see how that one goes. So, and that'll be interesting because now we're going to have to pick because we already know the matchup for Weili. So coming early January, we're going to have to decide if we think she wins that one, or if she wins that one or not. But so we crushed it in strawweight. So far we're tied. The score is 1-1. Now, if you guys don't remember, we had a bet on this, right? And the loser is going to have to follow through on that bet, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But just precursor. So, but next we had the women's flyweight. And also, while we're doing this, anybody in the chat, if you just have some like general MMA questions for us to answer, just random stuff, throw it out in the chat. Let's have some fun.
I know all the answers.
She knows all the answers. She's watched most of the cards this year. Actually, you did watch most.
True.
You watched most of the cards this year, I would say, at least in part. Like maybe not the entire card, but you watched at least part of most of the cards. Women's flyweight. This is where it falls off the rails, guys. Women's flyweight division. So our current women's flyweight champion, and I'm an idiot for not picking her, is Valentina Shevchenko. I should have just known she was going to be the champion at the end of the year. That should have been easy. but I'm dumb. And yeah, why don't you go ahead and start this one off? Who did you end up picking for the women's flyweight champion at the end of 24?
I picked Macy Barber. I mean, she might be my pick for 2025.
Fair
I
enough.
might have just been ahead of the curve on that.
Yeah, I mean, her triumphant return is right around the corner. She's taking a little time off. She had that injury and then some other stuff along with it, but her return is coming soon. That's what they're talking about. I'm a doofus, and I picked Erin Blanchfield, and we saw what happens when she fought Manon Fiorot, but that did not go well. So, yeah. I mean, Blanchfield's name is still in the hat, but I think she's a little farther down the list now than she was before. So, both of us there. So, we're still tied. We both have one correct and one incorrect. So, for those of you keeping score, tie ball game, folks. Tie ball game. But we're going to move on to the women's bantamweight division. And honestly, I just feel gypped on this one, but it's okay. For the women's bantamweight division, our current champion is Juliana Pena, actually, believe it or not, which is crazy to me to think. But I picked Norma Dumont. I think the only reason she's not champion is because they haven't given her the shot yet. Dumont beats anybody in the division. I stand by that. I can tell you now she's probably going to be my pick for next year. Dumont's going to win, but she didn't get the shot. So, whatever. They're going to give it to Kayla first. But as long as we get 2 women's bantamweight championship fights, Dumont's taking it. Unless Nunes comes back, that changes the game. But who did you have? This one's a fun one.
I have Holly Holm. I picked with my heart. I love Holly Holm, but she's pretty old now.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
she had that one really good fight at the end of 2023.
Yeah.
And I thought she was just going to keep going.
But she did not.
Yeah, that was a poor choice.
That's okay. I mean, you can't win them all. Honestly, to be fair, at the start of the year, we didn't really know what was going on because we just had in the women's bantamweight division at the start of 2024, it was just kind of up in the air.
But yeah, I was like, there's no one good. So
yeah, there was
nobody. Holly Holm.
There was no clear contenders. Yeah. Kayla Harrison wasn't even in the UFC. So, and she's the odds-on favorite for next year. Oh my goodness. We've got cats that are messing with our lighting and stuff, so that's pretty funny. We've got Nate Brown in the chat. Channel member, guys. If you don't know, channel memberships go to support the marker board. They supply me with the markers. They supply me with the lights that make it so you guys can see what I write on said marker board. Nate Brown is a channel member. I appreciate Nate Brown. He agrees with me that Norma's going to be the champ in a year. Yes, I agree. As soon as they give Norma the championship fight, she's taking that belt home with her. Let's go, Dumont. Yeah, so we've gone through all the women's divisions. Women's featherweight doesn't count. It died a long time ago. But we got the men's divisions coming up, and we got a lot more to go. And so far, we're both 1 and 2. So not a good start. Not a good start at all. Mm-hmm. But we move on to flyweight. And men's flyweight might be a little more successful for us, right? Okay, so currently the champion is Alessandro Pantoja. We just saw him defend his belt against Kaya Sakura. Very impressive performance. The guys look impressive pretty much the entire time as champion. They keep making him an underdog. They didn't in his last fight, but in most of these fights, he's an underdog, and he just keeps coming through, so that's wild. I believe you get to start this one off. Who did you have for men's fights?
Amir Albazi. So got that one wrong.
Yeah, and what was it that you? If you remember, we were doing the expert versus casual. Her casual take for this one was?
I just said he had a good record. I didn't really know anything about any of the men's flyweights. It's not a division I know a ton about.
Yeah.
My favorite flyweight fighter was Figueiredo. So
typical woman, just like not looking at the short kings. You know what I'm saying, boys?
I am taller than him.
She's
I
taller
just want
than
to
me.
point this out.
She is taller than me. Oh,
I got
good.
nothing against the short kings.
Oh, here we go. Let's answer this question here. Damari says, which women's champ is most likely to keep their belt next year? Okay, so
I mean, probably Wei Li. Although, how old is she?
She's got to be middle, like what, 34? Yeah. Something like that. How old is Wei Li? I don't remember. I don't remember how old Wei Li is. Wei Li is a good, yeah. So
I feel like Shevchenko is going to retire.
So she might retire after she fights Fiorot. So that could be a possibility. That's a whole year. Wei Li has to fight Suarez, and we know she's not going to fight again after that, probably, because she fights like once a year. And if she does fight again after that, it would probably be against Virna Jandiroba. But she has to beat Suarez, which is a tough fight. I don't think Pena keeps the title unless she just doesn't fight. So for me, most likely to keep it is going to be Zhang Wei Li. but Valentina could definitely do it because if she gets past Fiorot, I think that's her toughest test in the division currently. But then again, she's 35. Okay, I was close with 34. I was pretty close. I was off the top of my head, so I feel good about it. Thanks, dude. But yeah, so okay, and at 30, so in women age better than men in fighting, in combat
She
sports.
hasn't had any kids, so that helps.
It's another one that does in fact help. That's why Holly Holm, although she had her downfall like this year, but she was still competing in her 40s at a high level. Like she was still winning fights in her 40s. So yeah, I think Weili can still do it. It's just, is Suarez going to be able to just absolutely wrestle her and just control her? But I don't know. I haven't really dove into that one. So I'm going to say Weili as well as for like most likely. Shevchenko's a close second because she's so gosh darn good. Back to the men's flyweight. So she picked Amir Albazi, and we couldn't have predicted how he was going to look coming off that neck surgery. Didn't look his best. Part of that was also because he fought, a tough contender in Moreno. But I actually got this one right. I picked Alessandro Pantoja, and you know what? He's just doing the darn thing. He's cashed me so many tickets along the way. I'm a big fan of Alessandro Pantoja. Speaking of cashing tickets, guys, we finished out the year on a positive note, so I wanted you guys to know that I am stoked to announce that this year has been another profitable year, and that was not looking good because 2023, we crushed it in 2023. We could not miss bets. We were killing it. We had cards where we were hitting specific round and method props in like 2 or 3 times on the same card. We were killing it. We got too overconfident at the start of this year, and it wasn't falling, and we ended up down like 15 something units overall on June 8th was our lowest. So we were the chat just hit me. I'm gonna pull it up in a second. But we were down 15-ish units at June 8th. And since then we've turned it around more than 30 units of profit. We're just shy of 20 units net profit at the end of the year, and that's pretty good from being down. So if you started tailing my bets just after June 8th, you're up a whole bunch. So good on you. But if you started before, you're still up. Don't worry. But this was the comment that cracked me up. Pink Floyd. That is hilarious. Another channel member, Pink Floyd. So appreciate you, Pinky. I hope your New Year's resolution is gonna cash this year for you. Cash that ticket like a futures bet. And yes, I'm out of my human costume. I'm now in my little elf outfit like I normally will. McPooperton, another channel member. Great to see you, McPooperton. Yes, I am my normal clothes. Oh, I gotta shut my phone volume off. This is my normal outfit, guys. I don't know if you know, my day job, I actually work at the North Pole. I'm making toys in a toy factory. This is my outfit for that. So shout out to you guys, channel members. You guys are great. I appreciate all of you. So that wraps up the men's flyweight division. As we were saying, I got that one right. She did not. That makes me 2-2 on picks. She is 1-3 on picks. So far, the lead is for the elf. I got to fix my hat. It's starting to fall. There we go. Oh, look, I got a cool belt with this too. So I just wanted to make sure you guys saw the belt because I took the time to put the belt on and you can't see it. So I just wanted to make sure it was worth it. But anyway, all right, this is the men's bantamweight. I don't mean to give it away by my body language, but yeah, men's bantamweight. Okay, I guess I got to start this one off. So current champion is Merab Dvalishvili. Won the title from the Sugar Show. Did that as well as he needed to. I had Corey Sandhagen to win the title, and yeah, after what Umar did to him, that was far from the truth. So yeah, that's what there you go. You're a smart man, Hatsby. You're a smart man. Whenever she's on, it's a good stream. You know what I mean? Especially when we got her in the Mrs. Claus outfit, festive as heck. I love to see it. There we go. So yeah, I was on Sandhagen as bantamweight champ. It didn't work out. But who did you have?
I had Figueiredo.
She had Figgy.
Yeah. I still like him.
He had a shot, honestly. If he pulled, well, he wouldn't have got it this year if he pulled off the Jan win, but they easily could have booked Figgy instead of Merab if they didn't want Merab to fight O'Malley. Figgy had a pretty good resume going in, and had he pulled off the win over Jan, he would have been easily on the number 1 list for going into next year after Umar. But yeah, I think for next year, I think it's pretty obvious who this champ's going to be. So I don't know, but we'll cover that in the next video when we get the K picks on. So yeah, so we covered bantamweight. So let's see, that puts me at what, 2-3, and you're at 1-4.
Yep.
Neither of us doing well. We both have losing records. Both of us would be on the verge of getting cut, if not cut already, from the UFC, and I think that's going to continue for a bit. Like we get some more right, but like this is tough, guys. I don't know how many of you did futures, but if any of you got more than half correct, like round of applause, because it's really tough over the entire course of a year. You like certain champions you knew, like we knew Wei Li was going to have it because she was going to fight once, and but like other champions, it's just kind of like
There were a lot of upsets this year.
yeah, there were some big
A
time
lot of
upsets.
changes.
So yeah, exactly. But yeah, so men's featherweight. I'm pretty sure we both have the same.
We do.
We both have the same on this one. We both were on the same page. We both thought we had this one. We were both wrong because Ilia Topuria is a very savage man. Why don't you announce this one? Who did we pick?
We picked Volkanovski, which I will say I did feel bad going into his fight against Topuria because I didn't think it had been long enough since he got knocked out by Islam. And yeah, that was a rough one.
Mm-hmm. That was hard to watch. That was rough. And he was looking good. It's not like the skills aren't there. I mean, that's just tough. That's a tough one. Like, if Volk fought Topuria pre-Islam head kick,
Yeah.
how different does that fight play? I'm not saying that Topuria wouldn't necessarily win, but I think that fight lasts longer. I think it's more competitive. I don't know. But yeah, Volk, yeah. I don't know. I don't know that he reclaims his title. I don't know that he does.
I don't think so.
I think he's got all the skills. Those are two brutal knockouts, so I'm not sure about that. But we're both with losing records. Neither of us looking very good. So this isn't good. This isn't good, guys. But I will say, oh, here we go. Does Kendra train MMA also? Asks McPooperton. So she does go to jiu-jitsu, not specifically MMA. Actually, how we met was I was her kickboxing instructor. So she can do the parts of MMA. I guess her clinch game is probably shit. She would never really practice clinch stuff. But
I briefly was going to train for a fight, and then I decided I didn't want to do that. That was a lot of effort.
it was it was an attempt, but
I still have to go to my adult job in the
mhm.
morning, so that wasn't for me.
Yeah, she has a real career. Like unlike me, she's not a loser like me. So she has a real career. So she has to do that instead of fighting and stuff, which I obviously don't fight anymore, but you know what I mean? We can't all just make YouTube content and fun stuff like this. But yeah, no, so she does go to jiu-jitsu. Monday?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She probably would be there tonight if we weren't doing this. I would be there tonight if I didn't. I'm nursing an injury right now, but I'll be back probably like Saturday morning, maybe. We'll see. It'll be my first time in like 2 weeks because I got a boo-boo and that sucks. But yeah, so she trains a little bit, but not necessarily MMA. So thanks for the question, McPooperton. I love that.
I like your picture, McPooperton.
Yeah, that is a cute little picture, isn't it? Just like a
Poop.
poop. Yeah, a poop
Yeah.
pooping is that's like Inception level pooping. Anyway, that's enough about poop. So yeah, we'll move on to the lightweight division as we are trying to pick up the pieces. And this is a good one because we both, I believe, were on the same page. Am I correct? Yeah. Okay. So we were both on the same page, and like, I mean, duh. I mean, he's the best fighter in the world. Islam Makhachev is the current champion and the person we picked. It makes sense. So yeah, I mean, Islam's the man. He's going to be champion until he decides to not be champion. So giving that one away for next year, it's going to be Islam. He's going to be champion until he decides to not be. Either he retires or he decides he doesn't want to be lightweight, weight cutting type of guy anymore and says, screw that, I'm going up to welterweight because the dude's too good. Dude's way too good. I think he finishes Armin, just putting that out there. But yeah, anything to add?
No.
No, clean, plain and simple. And Islam's hilarious, guys. Islam is hilarious. So he's a great champion because he's funny, he's super skilled, and you know that the guy's going to fight at least twice a year, which is what we love to see. We love to see it. McPooperton, a few amateur fights, got head kick KO'd and called it good. Dude, seriously. So I've never been knocked out, but I had 4 amateur fights, but this is way back. So this is like over a decade ago, and things were a tad different back then. And the 2 times so I only had 4 and none of them were super super wild. But the 2 times I lost were times where you show up to weigh-ins and the original opponent wasn't there, so they give you somebody from like a different weight class. So I had 2 fights at 155 pounds. Guys, I don't even weigh 155 pounds fully dressed. I lost both of those fights. Go figure. So I know how it goes, McPooperton. Amateur fighting is rough because the amateur scene it's like everybody's like, oh yeah, you schedule a fight, you know who you're preparing for. No, you don't have a clue who you're preparing for until the day of. It's insane. But yeah, dude, getting head kick KO'd, I don't blame you for stopping. That's why I stick with grappling now. It's fun and you take much less brain trauma, although I do miss the violence. So, you know, it is what it is. No elf costume for the cats. So her cats do have a cute little dragon costume, but whenever you put it on them, they get all weird and they like do this like little like weird walk that like it kind of looks like a dragon, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty funny. But they don't like the costume, so we don't do it very often. Pinky's in here talking about the line -300. Yeah, I think that's absurd. Absurd. I don't know. I don't see how he loses Arman. I don't see it. Like I don't get it. Arman's good, but what does he do better than Islam? I can't think of anything. I mean, maybe something, but not MMA related. That's for sure. I think Islam's got him covered everywhere. I think he's far better. I don't think it's close. So -300 is a gift. So get that line while it's still there. It won't be there by fight day. Here we go. We got let's go Extremo. John and Aspinall is really happened. So it sounds like it from Dana. Dana said after the UFC Tampa that it's happening, but do you think it happens?
No, John Jones is a little bit. She's not doing that.
She's the world's biggest John Jones hater. So
he's the worst.
He is.
I mean, he's a good fighter, but I don't think that happens.
Yeah.
He's scared.
I wouldn't blame him. Honestly, I don't blame him for being scared because Aspinall's going to knock him out, but that's just me. But yeah, it might happen, but I think if it does happen, it's going to be one of those things where the UFC has to throw so much money at Jones that he just doesn't care if he wins or loses because he's going to be set with generational wealth. That's the only way I think it happens. So, you know, Classical Andrew in the chat, MMA YouTube power couple. Absolutely. That's what's up. Power couple right here. There's not very many others that are like that do the couple thing. So I do enjoy it. We get to be the power couple. She's sharp as a tack, you know. I know I listed her as a casual at the start of the year, but she's getting less casual every day. Kendra gets it. Yes, she does. She absolutely gets it. Kendra's smart. And then Extremo's back here. Let's see. Likes Dan Hooker. Imagine he was a matchmaker. Great match for Dan. For Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's the type of guy you got to give like a fun fight to because I think he's a few wins away from a title shot just because even though he's getting wins now, he's not beating like top 5 guys. So it's not like he's getting a title shot unless they're like really needing somebody or last minute. So he's going to need a fun fight. And for me, gosh, what do I want to see? Who do I want to see him fight? I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Michael Chandler.
I'm just going to say that.
There you go.
I want to see him redeem himself.
Yeah, because the rematch with Chandler would be good. I wouldn't mind seeing that. McPooperton likes Fiziev. I don't know if I want the Fiziev matchup or not. I don't know. I could see that one being a lot less fun than we think it would be because in my opinion, the best Dan Hooker fights end up being the fights where it's like him versus somebody with a big grappling threat, and you get to see the scrambling exchanges where he gets up and starts landing some shots, gets taken down, and uses his weird lanky frame. Yeah, but McPooperton now is on board. Yeah, versus Chandler. That would be a good rematch because I think the rematch goes much differently. I would like that one, or I would. Let's see, who else would be a good fight for him at 155 pounds? You know, it's tough. He's a tough one to match because you don't want to put him in there against somebody that he's already fought, except for the Chandler fight's different because that one's that was a very quick finish in a fight that will play out different. Patty, that's a good one.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
Patty to body, that'd be good. I think Patty is supposed to have a top 5 or top 8 matchup scheduled. It could be Hooker. Doesn't Hooker already have something? I don't know. I think the Benoit Saint-Denis matchup would actually be fun. That's the one I want to see. Saint-Denis versus Dan Hooker would be a scrap for the ages. That would be a scrap for the ages. That's what I want to see because Santini has the grappling upside, and I could see him mixing in the takedowns, and then I could see Hooker making it into a scrap, and then Santini obliging because that's fun.
Did we ever figure out what Poirier was talking about when he said he was gonna fight, but then also posted a lot of like eggplant emojis?
I don't think we figured out what the eggplant emojis were about.
Because I'm very concerned about that.
Yeah, I don't know if he's fighting or filming an explicit OnlyFans video, but Poirier had a lot of eggplant emojis after that. But maybe he's just bricked up the fight, you know? So good for him. Or maybe he's an eggplant farmer. But no, I mean, Poirier Hooker rematch would be fun, but that might be one you just let go with where it was because it was such a good fight the first time. I don't know if you can catch lightning in a bottle twice, so I don't know if the second one's as good. But yeah, great question. That actually sparked some good commentary there. So Extremo, I appreciate you there. Let's move on. We're on welterweight now.
Yep.
Our records are looking a little better. Let's see. I've got 3 correct, and I've got 4 incorrect. So I'm 3-4, still a losing record, but I'm not getting cut over it. What are we at?
I'm at 2-5.
She's at 2-5. It's not great, but still, depending on the order of the losses, you might not get cut. We're going to see if we would get cut from the UFC based on our record, or if we just become journeymen, because clearly we're not going to be prospects at this point. Okay, so we move on to welterweight, and welterweight was an interesting weight class because I felt really good about the one I made at the beginning of the year. We'll see if that shakes out. But our current welterweight champion is Belal Muhammad, who took that title off of Leon Edwards in a very good performance. Kendra, who did you have at welterweight?
I had Shavkat, which he was supposed to fight. Almost could have been right.
She almost could have been right is exactly correct. December, they were supposed to fight. It was December.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be Shavkat versus Belal, and would be interesting because my pick was Belal Muhammad. So, this could really have swayed things if that fight happened. Belal pulls out with the toe infection. Shavkat fights Ian Gary instead, gets the win there, and Belal's still champion. Another win for the good guys, boys. We got one. We cashed. Well, presumably we'll cash this ticket. Technically, I guess if for whatever reason the UFC strips him before the end of the year, that ticket won't cash. But Belal Muhammad was my welterweight pick. I wish we could have seen the watching the pay-per-view, Kendra and I sitting there watching that with that matchup where it was like her choice versus mine. That would have been hilarious. That would have been so much fun. Let's see. Everyone's a piece of Usman. Who could I imagine getting Usman next? Well, they said JDM's not happening, so it's tough to say. He's coming off of what 2 or 3 losses? 3 losses now.
He didn't look great in his last fight.
He looked okay, but yeah,
he's pretty old.
His last welterweight fight, anyway. Yeah, well, because his last middleweight fight looked good because he looked good against Chimaev, all things considered. Okay, so Hatfield, double back to your other one in a second, but your Usman versus Buckley, I don't like that one for the simple fact that Usman is coming off of a bunch of losses, and even though he's got the name and all that, unless they're just going to be like, you know what, we're done with Usman, I don't want to see him just get absolutely buried. So unless they're done with him, if they're done with him, then sure, feed him to Buckley if they think he's done. Otherwise, I'd like to see him fight somebody else that's coming off of a loss that can get some stock back from it. I'd like to see him versus either Ian Gary or, oh gosh, who's somebody else that's coming off of a loss at welterweight that would be that could just be right back in the mix. We don't need to see another Leon Edwards fight.
I want to see Usman versus Colby for the 10th time.
Yeah, Usman that would be good because both guys are coming off of a boatload of losses.
I mean, I don't know if that's really compelling since Colby has clearly lost.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the one stoppage was a little bullshit,
but Colby would have won that fight if they didn't stop it for the broken jaw that he didn't want stopped. Honestly, I think Colby would have beat Usman that night, but alas, they stopped the fight. So, am I looking at Usman versus Burns too? I wouldn't mind seeing that. Burns is coming off some losses. That'd be a good fight. Burns had some success in the first round the last time they fought, and Usman put him away in, what was it, second or third? That'd be a good one. That would be a good one too. Yeah, I'd be okay with Usman Burns, Usman Gary, Usman versus Colby is just such a good rivalry. I wouldn't mind to see it.
I think now that Usman and Adesanya both aren't champions, they should give up their whole not fighting fellow Nigerians thing and just go for it.
I agree. That would be a good one too. That would be fun. They could fight at 185. It'd be no big
It's
deal.
not like either of them are losing the title at that point.
That's exactly correct. Yeah, because I mean, since there's no title on the line, who cares? Usman versus Jeff Neal is a good fight. I like that. Yeah. So shout out to the Foo fight there. I like that. That's a good name. But yeah, no, Jeff Neal would be a fun one too, because he's also coming off a couple of losses, but like he's looked really good in those losses. So, you know, oh gosh, Hatsby, you're hilarious. You're just getting warmed up. Yeah. So okay, that's another thing. Okay, I'm still gonna go back to your other question or your other comment. Colby was not just getting so okay. That cut above his or like on his eyelid, people were like, oh, it's an early stoppage, whatever. But like imagine that gets worse and his eyelid falls off. Like it was pretty bad. Like imagine you don't have an eyelid. Imagine how rough that's gonna be. Like your eyes gonna be so dry. Like it would even you can't blink at that point. Like that's horrible. What do you just sew it back on? That'd be terrifying. I don't want to be sewing my eyelid back on. It was a little early, but it wasn't like early at the same time. I don't know. It was pretty gnarly too. Pretty gnarly cut. But okay, so we can go back to the original Hatsby comment here. He doesn't remember the name of the welterweight belt holder. That is hilarious because of Bilal Muhammad's name. For anybody that doesn't know, remember the name is Bilal Muhammad's name, but Hatsby doesn't remember because he doesn't like him. That's hilarious. Bilal's my boy just because he just keeps winning and everybody hates him. So I'm a Bilal Muhammad guy. I think he's the best welterweight right now. Trump would let the fight go on. Yeah, I mean, I would agree. He probably would. He would probably do one of these.
Trump would let the fight go on because he doesn't know anything about MMA.
Right.
Other than he likes watching people fight.
Yeah, he likes watching the fights, but he doesn't necessarily know anything.
Like, if you listen to his Joe Rogan interview, when he's talking to Rogan about MMA, you're like, oh, you don't know what's going on, do you?
Yeah, like he is the definition of a casual fan, which is okay.
It's fine. You can just be there to have fun.
Yeah.
For the vibes.
Yeah, like he like knows some fighters. He's the guy that tunes in for like the cards. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I want to go to this big pay-per-view. But so yeah, he would have let the fight go on. You're damn right. Gosh, okay, so let's see. What's our records now? I've got 4 and 4. 4 and 4. I'm a 500 fighter here. Let's go. Let's go.
I was still live too.
She still got 2. So she's what, 2 and 6? Not as good.
That's great.
She might get cut, but depending on the division. So like if she's in a division that like really needs fighters, I can see them keeping her around. Like obviously she's not a heavyweight, but like at heavyweight, they'll keep you around for a long time. You know what I mean?
Just pulling a Sam Alvey over here.
Yeah, she's pulling a Sam Alvey over here. All right, there you go. Or a Tony Ferguson. My goodness. Here we go. Who do we got? Jones versus Aspinall. Yeah, Tommy Boy's putting him out. Tommy Boy. That's actually funny. I think if you guys have seen the movie, I think Aspinall puts him out. I know that Jones is like the best ever and all that stuff. Don't get me wrong, but like, I think Aspinall has all of the things he needs to beat a guy like Jones. Because what do we think that Jones just goes in there and takes him down and like holds him down?
Do you know if they both go into a room?
Yeah, if they both go into a room, who leaves that room?
John Jones, because he doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall.
That's right. He's out that room. He's sprinting out that room.
It's not going to happen.
But if it does happen, I think Tom's a nightmare matchup for him. He's way bigger, way stronger, probably just about as fast. He's got youth. He's got a well-rounded skill set. He can basically do everything Jones can do for the most part, like some of the like super flashy stuff, but he hits way harder. Like Jones isn't putting out Aspinall on like a lucky shot. If Aspinall hits even an unlucky shot, he's putting Jones out. The dude hits so hard. What that dude has done to everybody he's fought is incredible. I got to take Aspinall, but we'll see. We'll see. That fight, if it ever does happen, I will break it down and it's going to be great. So we'll cover more down the road. Oh, so okay. Extremo's dropping this one. So I heard that too. Did you hear about that? So
I heard rumors about it, but
yeah, it's gonna be the Logan Paul.
Oh, Logan Paul?
Exactly.
Logan Paul's terrible.
Well, okay, so here's how this can happen though. So they're gonna do Logan Paul is the thing. And I think the reason they're gonna do that is because Logan Paul apparently works for the WWE, which is the pro wrestling thing. Well, they merged companies, so they're under the TKO banner. So Logan Paul and Conor McGregor technically are owned under the same company with their contracts. That's how that can happen.
Will it be like a exhibition?
That's what they were
Because
saying.
Logan Paul's so much bigger than him still.
Yeah, Logan Paul's what?
I mean, even with
230?
McGregor like roided up,
Yeah.
he's still a lot smaller.
Yeah, like
But Logan Paul's terrible. So
he is terrible.
I
Like
don't
he
think
can't
wins
fight.
that.
Especially like in a boxing match, you have to have some skill.
It'd
Like,
be better for Logan if they were doing MMA.
mhm.
I mean, he'd still lose, but
I don't know.
he's like a good wrestler.
yeah, like he wrestled in high school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like in boxing, the dude's trash. Like he's so bad. Like Jake Paul at least has some boxing skill. Logan Paul doesn't have any. Like he's horrible. So I feel like if it happens, McGregor might win, even though he's going to be vastly outsized. Like on all the roids, he's still way too small. So I don't. It's hard to say.
They're both pieces of shit. So.
Hatsby says Jones beats Aspinall via domestic abuse. Aspinall is not a woman, so I don't know that that's going to work out. Because Jones beats a lot of women, but I don't know that he beats.
It would really help if Aspinall was like pregnant and a woman.
Yeah, if he was a pregnant woman, I feel like we'd get a hit and run.
Yeah, no chance.
Miles in here. He calls him Tommy Boy as well. Miles, did you ever see the movie Tommy Boy with Chris Farley? Because that movie is great, but when I said Tommy Boy, that's what I thought of. I just pictured Chris Farley. Now, in a fight between Chris Farley and John Jones probably wins that like 100 out of 100 times. Chris Farley's dead, so definitely now. But even when he was alive, like definitely. But like that was a great movie. So shout out to that. Let's see here. Feed Jones to Chase Hooper.
I love Chase Hooper.
Oh, that's great. That was a good one. Oh, let's see. Miles is back. He says your breakdowns and analyzation are amazing. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm the best in the game. Oh, I appreciate that. That's awesome. I'm definitely going to keep going for another year. The channel's just growing. We're just getting there. We broke 4K subs this year. I think in total we gained like 1,900 and some odd subscribers this year, which is great. Some of you are probably part of that. So shout out to all y'all. But thank you. I appreciate that. I try to, even if I don't get all the picks right, I do try to give you information on every fighter and make you feel like you can come away from the video knowing about the fighters and like make your own decision based on my analysis and leaving my pick aside. Because I don't make the breakdowns so that it's linear, like, oh, just for this fight, this is, but I talk about what they are. And then I'll like exclude some stuff in certain matchups, but I do that so you guys can make your own opinion. And my pick at the end is for entertainment purposes. So there you go. Let's see. Damari's in here. He says, I felt significantly more confident in Aspinall pick before the Stipe fight. Jones looked fast. Yeah, Jones did look good. I do wonder, though, if any of that had to do with Stipe not quite being the Stipe of old. As Hatsby actually points out right here.
I agree with this one. I think Stipe just looked slow.
I think Stipe looked slow, but he had all the same Stipe mechanics and things like that you know and love from him, but like he just didn't have the same Stipe fire.
I don't think he really cared if he won that fight.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have in his. I mean, he's getting paid a boatload for it. So plus, like, if he like in the off chance I think he wanted to win that fight in the first round, and I think after he realized that the first round was drastically not going his way, he wasn't going to quit. But I think he realized, like, well, at least we're getting paid, because that was a tough fight. But I don't think he can do that to a guy like Aspinall. I really don't, because I think Aspinall probably knocks out Stipe in the first round. To be fair, so So to answer your question or respond to your comment, I guess, I agree Jones looked great, but I still think Aspinall's, right there. Do your thing, Hatsby. Shoot, go for it. Let's see. Damari's in there. He says, yeah, so exactly. So you expect him to look slower, but Jones is quick, though. And he makes up for, like, not even necessarily being super quick, but he's really efficient in his movements, and that makes him look even faster. And he was faster than he was against Gane because he was kind of chubby against Gane. So, McPooperton's girlfriend can hip thrust 380 pounds. I think that's a lot. Like, that sounds like a lot.
You don't got to out your weight like that, but that's okay.
Oh, McPooperton was a super heavyweight back in the day, it sounds like. That's funny. That is really funny. I was going to get at that then. Okay. Let's see. Bones once said that his wife had the best. Oh, wow.
It's not even his wife. He won't even marry this
Yeah,
woman.
isn't she still his like fiance?
They're just engaged.
Yeah, I think they're still like. I don't think they ever like.
They
got
have a
married.
bunch of children together, but
Yeah, because I think even on the last like domestic violence call, like at the hotel or whatever, the last one that I remember being big, I think they said fiance. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but either way, it's rough. One said that his, yeah, entire Western United States. That's incredible. That's actually really funny because, I mean, if anybody would know, it's him because he probably tested it by hitting her in the face. What a sackish stuff. Okay, we can move on. Where are we? We're at middleweight. Okay, middleweight. We'll get to this one here. We gotta cover a couple more of these. We've rambled for a while, which I appreciate. Keep the stuff coming in the chat. That stuff's fun. We're here. We're doing this along the way, but we just wanted to chat with you guys because there's no fights. So that's what we're doing. So for middleweight, let's see. I believe you kicked off the last one, so I'll kick this one off. And middleweight, currently, Dricus du Plessis is the champion. He's coming off of a controversial win over Strickland and then a decisive win over Adesanya. He took the belt off Strickland in a split decision. I thought he lost that fight. I don't know. But yeah, so it sounds like he's going to fight Strickland in February. Makes sense. But yeah, so DDP is the current champion. My pick at the beginning of the year. Here's who I picked. I picked Brendan Allen because I don't know. I mean, to be fair, Brendan Allen was on a heater. The dude was looking great. He was finishing people with rear naked chokes left and right. You get a rear naked choke. You get a rear naked choke. You get a rear naked choke. He was like a 3-fight rear naked choke spree over people who are great grapplers. But yeah, he didn't pan out. So that's a bad pick. But it is what it is. Who did you have?
I had Sean Strickland. I feel robbed by this because, I mean, Sean Strickland made Adesanya look stupid. So assuming they would have given Adesanya the rematch again, I think he still would have lost. I think Sean Strickland should be champ, but
I agree.
Is what it is.
Strickland is the rightful champ currently, I think. I mean, the split decision, it was close. I'll give you that. I don't. It wasn't like a blatant robbery. Strickland won the fight, so whatever. So I think so. If Strickland won that fight against DDP, they probably would have given him the rematch, like Kendra said, against Adesanya. I think he beats Adesanya again. I think his style is too hard for Adesanya to be able to counter because he can't just jab leg kick at range because he just gets walked down. So
Adesanya really gets in his head against people he's lost to before as well. I mean, I know he did finally beat Pereira, but he lost to him a lot of times before that.
Yeah, he did. What, like three times? Something like that. Kickboxing twice, 3, MMA once. Yeah.
I guess he didn't really lose the first time. But
right.
Still.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Let's see. Extremo, DDP, not get you. So they booked the Strickland fight for February. And I know everybody's like crying that like, oh, Khamzat didn't get the title. He's getting robbed. Guys, Khamzat doesn't fight that frequently. He's going to he'll get a shot most likely this year. It's probably going to be October.
He probably couldn't go to Australia.
Yeah, he has a hard time traveling. I know his coach says he can travel now, but
where's his citizenship at?
Now it's in Abu Dhabi, so he'll have better luck traveling.
Yeah, I guess maybe.
But yeah, I feel like he's probably fighting in Abu Dhabi for the title. That's what they were looking to do, is my understanding. They needed a guy from Abu Dhabi to headline the Abu Dhabi card in October. Khamzat now resides in Abu Dhabi.
I think even though Khamzat looked really good in his last fight, I feel like he's still fragile and he just can't fight very often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he seems to struggle in camp. Like it's just a thing. I don't think he's fragile in a fight, but I think he's fragile.
Yeah, just like his health. His health seems fragile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the dude's always sick. But it is. I don't know why, but it's a thing. So yeah, I don't think we're going to get to see him turning around fast like he did when he first got in UFC. And I think part of that is just because like his body can't keep up with that anymore. So yeah, I think it makes sense. He's probably going to get the October title shot. So real quick, we'll go back to the privileges in a second, but it sounds like Classical Andrew's got to run. Andrew, feel free to tune back in and catch the rest of it, after you're done studying. Go do that homework. I appreciate you tuning in, buddy. L, pick for Al. Yeah, you know what? Like, yeah, I don't know. I thought he. I don't know. It was a rough pick. We can't win him. Strickland is the moral goat of the UFC. So he says some outlandish stuff, but like a lot of people make it out to be worse than it is. Like, I don't think he says like. Sometimes he says some really good stuff. Like, and sometimes you're like, oh, that's really wise and intelligent. And then other times you're like, okay, well, that was silly. But
I mean, if you ever like ran into some hooligans on the street, Sean Strickland is like the stranger that you would want to be around.
word, dude's coming in saving your butt. So I don't mind Strickland. I like him actually. I think he's. I understand sometimes he says some stuff that you're like, dude, come on, that was wild. Like when he was making fun of that. Oh gosh, Felipe something or another. Felipe. Gosh, my memory's slipped. Dude got hit by a bus and died. And he was the fighter. Yeah, I know the fighter that got hit by a bus and died. And he was like, that's why he that must be why he got cut from the UFC because he couldn't dodge a punch, he can't dodge a bus or something like that. And I was like, geez, dude, like, okay, that one was a bit much, but
It is really
it's incredibly rude.
I've also been hit by a car, so I feel a little attacked.
She was hit by a car a couple summers ago. So there you go. See, it happens. But I wouldn't count on her dodging a ton of punches either. There you go. Point is, I like Strickland. So Extremo's got another one here. Alan Vittori. And who's next for the Russian-French guy? The Russian-French guy, that are you talking about Imavov? Nasruddin Imavov? He's booked against Adesanya now. They just dropped that. Adesanya is going to fight Imavov. It's like the main event of a fight night card, I think. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't remember which one, but it's coming up. So Allen versus Vittori. I like Allen. I think Vittori's good at what he does, and that's just come forward, eat shots, and just do what he needs to do. But I don't think he beats guys like Allen who could get him down and take the back, because it doesn't matter how good your chin is if you're getting choked out. So I do think Allen can beat Vittori. I think he's also going to be better at not just getting rocked on the feet constantly. So yeah, I would take Allen over Vittori. But that's without doing any deep dive on it. That's just off the cuff. My really fancy like cuffs that I got on right now. Homework is for nerds. You know what? We need nerds. Nerds are a good thing. Without nerds, this StreamYard platform wouldn't even be here. He said women shouldn't vote. He did say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
He's got a beef with women's MMA too, which is kind of lame.
yeah. So like I said, I'm a fan of women's MMA. I love women's MMA. So I don't agree with him on that. But I do agree with him on a lot of fun stuff he says, just not those ones. There's a few. It's like with most people. I agree with some things they say and not with others. But you got to be careful when it's Sean Strickland when you say that you agree with stuff he says, because people will put you in a box if you do that. And then if you disagree with him, people will also put you in a box. And I'm not going to be in this box here. Right? I'm an elf. I climb. You see the thumbnail. I'm climbing out of the box. Don't put me in a box, guys. Vittori's chin needs to be studied. Yo, maybe that's what Andrew is doing. Maybe he's doing some homework on Vittori's chin as we speak. If so, that would check out. And if so, Andrew, if you're watching this back on the replay, let me know what you found out. Is Vittori's chin what you were studying? And if so, what do you think? These are the questions we need answered. Let's see. We both gave our middleweight picks. She said Strickland. She probably should have got that one right, but it is what it is. He lost the decision, even though it was a bad decision. And I said Brendan Allen. It was a horrible pick. So I've got another horrible pick coming up soon. Don't worry. Yeah. But okay, where are we at on records? I think I am. Let's see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 right and 5 wrong. I'm 4-5. Not a good record. Not by any means, but I'm probably not getting cut from the UFC.
I still only have 2.
Oh, she still got 2.
I'm still being Sam Alvey.
Yeah,
you can have 9 losses in a row.
She's got a rough one. That's okay. We can move on to light heavyweight. Light heavyweight was a division. If you remember, people now, you're like, oh, yeah, light heavyweight's easy. Okay, but at light heavyweight, it wasn't at the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, this thing was wide open. We had no clue who was going to be the champion because we didn't get to see Pereira just go out there and beat 4 people easily. Like that happened this year. I think it was 4 times this year. So for me, the light heavyweight division at the beginning of the year was much different than it is now. Oh, here, classical Andrew. He must have left yet. There we go. Yeah, music grad student. Practicing guitar. Well, that's slick as heck. So that's awesome homework. Heck yeah, dude. Keep it up. That is great. Guitar's fun. I haven't played in a long time. Used to play a little bit.
That makes sense. He's classical, Andrew.
Oh, classical guitar. That checks out now. I get that. But anyway, we'll catch up with the chat here again in a second. Let's go ahead and give our light heavyweight predictions. Let's see. Did you start the last one or did I?
I think we had the same one on this actually.
Okay. Did we both have the same?
Yeah.
Oh, we did both have the same one on this one, and we were both way wrong. Do you want to announce this one?
We both had Jamal Hill. I picked him because I usually pick the fighter with the worst chest tattoo, and Jamal Hill has the worst chest tattoo.
It's true. She does.
So.
That is a thing she puts into her MMA capping is how bad is their chest tattoo. And this works at lower levels.
It does.
If you go to a regional event, like a regional MMA event, like I'm not talking like LFA. That's not regional enough. That's too big of regional. I'm talking really narrowed down. I'm talking like you're a local. They pretty much only hold events in your city type of MMA organization. And you're watching these like amateurs and low-level pros come out that have like losing records as a pro. The ugliest chest tattoo wins at a really high clip. So the reason and logic was there. It was there. I picked Jamal Hill because of his performance against Glover Teixeira, because that was a masterclass. And I was like, wow, this Jamal Hill could beat anybody. And at the time, like the dude was going to come back and win the title when he got better from his injury, right? Well, Pereira made that not happen, like pretty clearly. I mean, I understand there was like the controversy about the groin kick, all this stuff, but like realistically, dude, you got knocked out. Like, protect yourself at all times. So, I like Jamal Hill. He gets a lot of crap, but
our friend almost did get in a fight with him.
So I actually interviewed him on the channel. My dude Isaiah Robinson. He's a MMA fighter, boxer. He hasn't had one pro MMA fight. It didn't go his way, but he's had more boxing matches, and he's much better at that. The one MMA fight that he actually had as a pro and lost, Jamal Hill was in his opponent's corner. And after the fight, Jamal's in there in the cage. My buddy Isaiah's in there in the cage, and they're doing the hand raise thing for my buddy's opponent. And somehow Isaiah and Jamal kind of start jawing at each other. And
Isaiah used some not nice words that we can't say on YouTube.
Yeah, we cannot say them on YouTube. This video would get taken down. But Isaiah's a very fun guy to watch. So if you ever want to watch a fun fight, look up some of his fights. He's a fun guy. Except for the ones where he gets held down because he sucks at stuff on takedowns. But either way, him and Jamal almost went to blows there. It was very entertaining. They had to have people separate them, which I thought was hilarious. But either way. Let's catch up with the chat again. Let's see. Extremo. Strickland is the current Bobby Riggs of the 50s. I don't know who Bobby Riggs is. You're gonna have to educate me on that one. That's one I don't know. No one in the stream is cool enough for guitar. You're hilarious. Oh, that's actually really funny. Yeah, guitar is a cool instrument. It's not like playing the bass. If you play the bass, you're necessary for the band, but like everybody kind of knows it's like, okay, but like you're the least cool one in the band. Very few bass players are the coolest member of the band. But there's a few exceptions. There's exceptions to every rule. Red Hot Chili Peppers is a great example. Flea is obviously the coolest guy in the band. He's the bass player, whatever. But most of the time, the bass player is not the coolest person in the band, and they're usually far from it. Fall Out Boy is another great example. In fact, the bass player is the most popular person in the band by a landslide. So there you go. Another great example.
We've already established you weigh 380 pounds, we can pretend.
Yeah, dude, it sounds like you could fold a chair by sitting on it. That's oh, that's funny. Anyway, so here we go. Jan Blachowicz against. They just booked him. Oh my goodness, who'd they book him against? They booked him against Olberg. It was Carlos Olberg. He's fighting Carlos Olberg very soon. I don't know who I'm taking in that fight. If Blachowicz wasn't coming off of a pretty long layoff and some decent injuries, I would be confident in Blachowicz, because that dude is a nasty person to fight. And like, dude's got some serious bone density. Like, Dude will just go shin to shin with you and just be happy to do that. It doesn't bother him a bit. So I would take Blachowicz had that, but now I'm gonna have to really start looking into it more. So I don't have a prediction just yet, but he is fighting Olberg coming up soon. Jamal will beat Yuri. Oh yeah, and then you'll cry. So this is a hot take. I think Yuri Prochazka is super annoying. I hate his fake samurai BS. Like, it's super annoying.
I'm happy every time he has to shave his stupid hair.
Yep. Yeah, we're both Prochazka haters.
He seems like a nice guy. I'm sure I would like hanging out with him.
Right.
But like, I hate his hair, so I just like needs to shave that.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a really nice dude. I'm sure he's the type of guy that like, if like an old lady drops her purse or something, like he'll go pick it up and bring it and give it to her so she doesn't have to bend down and pick it up, like type of thing. Like, I'm sure he's a great dude. His shtick is super annoying. And I think Jamal's going to beat him too. I think Jamal puts him out. He weighs 160. His girlfriend's just a beast. Interesting here. I'm not gonna touch where I was thinking with that. I'm just gonna hope that she's doing that in the weight room. She could hip thrust a car off of you if you were stuck. Okay,
That's useful.
that's an interesting way to move a car. A lot of people would use a jack potentially, like a car jack. Some people would just flip the car, but it sounds like she's gonna hip thrust that sucker off. And if that actually that'd be great viral content. So I don't know if you guys want to start like a TikTok, but if so, girl hip thrusting car like off of another human would be some sick content. So put a nice little soundtrack to it. I like it. But you're only 160, so that means you probably fought at what, like 135, 145 is my guess. Amateur, I guess I don't know what. MMA is so different in every state. In the state that I live in, Nebraska, you can weigh in 3 pounds over as an amateur. So like I was a flyweight, which I never ended up actually having a flyweight fight because nobody ever can fight at flyweight. But I could make flyweight because it was 128 and 125 wasn't happening, but 128 I could sure make. So yeah, I'm assuming you were probably 145 or 135, probably 135. But amateurs also don't necessarily cut enough weight, so I get that. Let's see. So yes, they're slightly autistic. Yeah, definitely.
It's not uncommon for fighters.
I don't even know if slightly is the right word, to be honest. So, Extremo, his lady friend's is like 30% bigger than he is. Hey, some people like him bigger. I'm not hating on that. She's taller than me. Does that count? We weigh closer to the same. I'm a little heavier, but she's taller than me. So I can bigger this way or bigger like this way. You know what I mean? It's like, teach their own. Wow, we're already at heavyweight. Guys, it's coming too fast. We haven't even been streaming for a whole hour. So drop a few more things in the chat if you wish. Don't feel pressure. Do whatever you want to do. But we're at heavyweight. I think we ended up.
I think we did the same.
So
yeah.
we ended up on the same, but she was this close to being right because the current heavyweight, we were both that close to being right, but she almost called John Jones because John Jones is the current heavyweight champion on paper.
I was gonna pick John Jones as the champ, but he didn't fight all year though. So
right.
Once again, I'm John Jones' biggest hater.
Yeah,
but he did fight, so I'll give him that.
I was surprised he actually fought. I was surprised, but
it shouldn't have been for the title. But.
Should have been for just a fight because he's not the champion. The true champion is Tom Aspinall. That's what we both picked to be the champion at the end of the year. I was on Tom Aspinall. She was as well. The dude's the rightful champion. He has defended his title more than John Jones. He's more active. Neither guy has beaten the lineal champion, so neither belt has that to go along with it. So there's an asterisk here. Tom's the true champ. There you go, right here. Michael knows what's up. Tom's the champ. He should be, gosh darn it. He should be the champ.
You shouldn't defend an interim title.
No. And like
it's not a thing.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a thing.
I know Renan Barão did that like way back in the day. But other than Renan Barão, who on earth is defending their interim titles? Like nobody. Tom Aspinall. So there you go. Tom's the real champion in my opinion. So here, let's tally up our records quick, and then we'll address the chat some. Okay, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll call the Aspinall pick a no contest. Okay, we got 4 wins. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losses. So 4 and 6 with a no contest for me.
I'm still only at 2.
She's only got 2 wins. She got cut, actually. Yeah. They cut her after the no contest. They were like, "Yeah, you're out of here. Sorry, we can't have that." So Kendra gets cut from the promotion. I'm probably just hanging on by a thread. If I get a good matchup, it'll be fine. But whatever. Big and tall are different things. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Some people like them thick and juicy, and that's okay. 3-1. That's better than my record. I was 2-2. So good for you, man.
His only fights online are ones he lost too.
Oh yeah, it's such BS. Like the only fights you can find of mine online are the 2 where I just like look like crap. So that's great.
Before we were dating, he told me he was a fighter, and I looked up his record, and I was like, this guy sucks.
Yeah. So when we met, so we'd known each other for like a few years prior to like dating or whatever, because I was her kickboxing instructor, right? Not a Pat Berry situation. She was a full-grown adult, like an absolute full-grown adult, and I'm not that much older than her. So yeah, so like she looked me up because like back then I was still training like pretty actively. I wasn't fighting still, but like I was still training actively. And so you can't. Oh, really quick to address this. So you can't actually find the fights, but there's like a record of them out there. But like you can't. The fights don't exist. Like these were before like things were uploaded to YouTube. Like
before camera phones too.
Yeah, this was before camera phones.
Or at least good.
Or like yeah. You had your like 2 or 3 megapixel like camera phone that couldn't take videos. But like this is a long time ago. Like this is a long time ago. So there are probably DVDs, if you guys remember what DVDs are. I'm just kidding. There are probably DVDs fighting or of me fighting back out there back in the day. But yeah, no. So like the only 2 that like showed up on my record were the 2 losses. So that sucks. And they're at 155 pounds. That's so stupid. I wish on StreamYard it would show the root beer bottle, but cheers to you, my brother. Oh yeah, we still have the bet to cash. Guys, don't go anywhere. She's still going to cash this bet, so don't worry. We're going to get to that after we're done checking with the chat. We are not wrapping up, boys. We got this. And girls, I don't know if there's any ladies out there. My channel has a couple of you that watch, so that's cool. Yeah, there you go. Kidding. It's funny. Undefeated in the streets. It's funny. Okay, so let's see. Trying to find the champ has a name. Has it worked? Yeah.
And with you, Freud.
I agree. Yeah, the champ's name is definitely not Charles Oliveira. That died pretty hard when Islam just ran through that poor boy. And he
needs for Tom Aspinall.
Oh, the Tom Aspinall one. Okay, yeah, you can't bring that back for Aspinall. That won't work at all. It didn't work right there. You just tried it. It didn't work out. That flopped. But yeah, if I ever find them, I will try to upload one and send it to you. But it would be of me just getting totally wrecked, probably. It'd probably be my first fight, because I do remember a DVD that was floating around somewhere. However, my house flooded in 2019, and I lost like everything I own. So like my copy of that DVD was in there, and I'm pretty sure it got lost. So there you go. So that was gone. 58. I'm not 58. I'm 33, but I haven't fought since I was quite young. What gosh. I think my last fight might have been 2014, but like early part of 2014, maybe. Like really early 2014 was my last fight, I think. So there you go. But yeah, no, I don't have the DVDs, unfortunately. Because like I said, the flood. And then what's crazy is like I don't even like the person that put the promotion that had the promotion. They were so haphazardly run that like it's probably gone forever. But if I ever find it, I'll let you guys know. Here we go. We got a lady in the chat. Look at that. Let's go. That's what we like to see. We like having the ladies around here. It makes this not such a weird sausage fest.
No. You need a timeout. Absolutely not.
Has to get a timeout.
Unacceptable behavior.
Oh, Evan Eclipse, dude, good to see you, my friend. Just stopping by. He's at work. You know what? Appreciate that. Dropping the like. Thank you, my friend. I hope you catch the whole stream later. It's good to see you as always. I'm a big fan of yours. You're good people. Okay, so we've wrapped up. I win. We'll see next year. Who knows? But the bet. So if you remember, the bet is everybody was doing shoeies. I think they still are. Shoeies are lame. I don't like. I'm not drinking anything out of a shoe, unless I really had to. Like it was the only thing I could drink out of. But even then, just put your face to the water, or whatever you're drinking. Don't put it in a shoe. So the deal was, if she won, I would have to shotgun a root beer because I'm the root beer guy. Well, she didn't win. So she's got to shotgun a beer because she's not the root beer girl. She actually drinks beer. So unlike me, she will drink a beer. So
I've never shotgun a beer before, so I don't think this is gonna go well.
this is gonna go great. We're gonna witness this on camera. She's gonna do it.
For some reason, I thought I was gonna win.
She thought she was gonna win. Such a casual take of her, guys. Tell her she's a casual.
I thought I was gonna win. I didn't think this was gonna happen.
This is gonna be funny. This is gonna be funny.
We'll see.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you as well. Let's go. We're gonna catch all those bets in 2025.
Okay, I think you're supposed to put a hole in the bottom.
There you go. She's gonna figure this out as we go.
I don't want to get beer on the couch either.
She doesn't want to get beer on the couch. Guys, we're watching this live. She's gonna do this.
I might have to have you put a hole in the bottom.
I'll give it a shot if you want me to. Does she wear the
No.
Yeah, not really. No, she just drinks beer. I just don't drink alcohol. Whoa, she's got beer flying everywhere.
Maybe you're supposed to.
There you go.
I do have beer everywhere.
She's got beer shooting everywhere.
I don't think I can do this.
Oh, this is so funny. Look at her go.
I didn't make the whole thing.
There you go. Get it, girl. Oh, there you go. Pinky's having fun here. Oh, Extremo, it was great to meet you as well. I'm so glad you were here. Feel free to tune in more. Some content is less unhinged than this, and I will be seeing you next year. Yeah, she didn't open the tab first. McPooper didn't. Spoken like a true pro. She got it second. Don't worry. She got it second. It's open now. She's got it open at least partway. Yeah. She's struggling over there.
There's too much beer.
Everybody's telling you to pop the tab, but she did pop the tab. She didn't pop it all the way, but she popped it most of the way. That's hilarious. Well, boys, she sprayed beer. She did it. I think she's almost got it finished. She's taking her sweet time, it looks like. Oh, let's see. There you go.
I'm not a drinking pro.
Ryan's Day, our wholesome. We are as wholesome as you can get on YouTube.
Yeah.
We
We got a
toned it
lot of
down.
beer going on.
She's got a lot of beer going on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Pinky said, "Well done." He's only seen it done that way once and did not go anywhere near that well. So there you go. Oh gosh, that's so good. Yeah, there you go. I don't know. I don't have any. I think that was just a beer that was left from one of our buddies. I was probably Isaiah actually.
Yeah.
Let's see. McPooperton said, "Good sesh, guys. Always love a Kendra video. Later, my dudes. Dude, good to see you. Yes, whenever she's on the channel, they always do well. She's people see a woman's face on the thumbnail and they're like, is she talking about MMA? How about that thumbnail, guys? Like, was that good or what?
Those are the actual proportions. He's just sitting on the edge of the laptop right now.
I'm acting like when I said she was taller than me. I don't know if you guys know this. She's actually like 9.5 feet tall, and I'm actually like 3 feet tall. So like she actually can. I'm just kidding. I'm just like, yeah. Hey, thanks, brother. I'm looking for my career in commentary someday. You know, if a promotion ever needs me to do commentary, I would do it. Whether it's MMA or beer drinking competitions, I would probably get very ruthless when it comes to the beer drinking competitions as people get sloshed because I can be a jerk about that stuff. But it's funny. It's funny. Yes, that thumbnail was solid. Thank you. That's probably my best thumbnail I've ever made. So I'm pretty happy about it. And Pinky, happy holidays to you too, my friend. Like I said, I hope that your resolution hits this year. I hope you can do it. This year's the year. You're going to crush it. And if not, I'm going to keep nagging you until you do. She's not very good at being a nag, which I appreciate, but otherwise I would send her to nag you. She's not very good at being a nag. She's really non-naggy, which is great.
You can do it though. We believe in you.
We believe in you. We believe in you. Clips, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. All right, with that, guys, we're going to sign out. I appreciate all you tuning in. We did it just over an hour. Thank you guys so much. One more time, the costumes. I'm the elf.
Your shoes.
Oh, I got these cool little booties that came with it. So I had to show you guys the booties. I put them on for this, even though I knew you guys couldn't see the feet. There it is. But thanks, guys. We will catch you all down the road. We'll see you early 2025 with Mr. and Mrs. K picks. We're going to be there giving our picks for next year, and hopefully I can
have a win
have
next year.
She thinks she's going to win next year. I think I can get a winning record next year. We'll see you there if this stream goes